Hi, and welcome back. Thank you for watching another Providing Resources for Emergency Preparedness YouTube video. I am so excited today because I'm going to show you how to bake one of my family's favorite treats. That's a peanut butter cup fudge cheesecake. That's today's topic for this Providing Resources for Emergency Preparedness YouTube video. Baking videos, the first thing I'm going to do is walk you through the ingredients and show you what we are going to be working with and the hardware. So let's get started. Our first item we're going to need is some granulated sugar. You're going to need some peanut butter of your choice, creamy. You're going to need 3 bricks of cream cheese, some Reese's peanut butter cup, a little heavy whipping cream, some organic sour cream, 3 eggs, organic of course, some hot fudge, quality vanilla extract, a stick of butter, Oreos, and graham crackers. For our hardware, you're going to need a saucepan, a skillet, a couple of measuring cups and some teaspoons, a 9-inch cheesecake pan. And I like to put my cheesecake on a tray with some parchment paper and a couple of spatulas and scrapers. And if you don't have a ruler in your kitchen specifically for baking, I suggest you get one. Let everybody in the house know, especially your kids, that this ruler is only for baking and kitchen use, so you can measure and make sure you have the right size cheesecake pan. And I set up my KitchenAid chopper. You can do the graham crackers by hand, and I'll show you when we get to that point, but I'm going to use my chopper today, my food processor. And I also set up my KitchenAid stand mixer with a bowl and my paddle. So you can also mix that part by hand. All the recipes I do for basic baking, you can definitely mix by hand, and it just takes you a little longer. And I'll also show you an alternative to chopping up the Oreos and the graham crackers by hand too, just in case you don't have a food processor or a blender, but you should put that on your wish list for the future. So we're going to get started right away, and with all our basic baking videos, we are going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. That seems to be the standard baking temperature for most dishes. Okay, so I set my oven at 350 degrees, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my graham crackers going. So if you don't have a food processor like I do, what I do is I put my graham crackers in a Ziploc bag and my Oreos, and I take a wooden pin that you roll dough out with, and I put them in the bag, and I just tap the bag. I beat that bag until it gets to the texture and consistency that I'm looking for. So that's an alternative if you don't have the food processor for making your graham crackers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my butter melted, because I need 6 tablespoons of butter to go in my graham cracker mix. So I'm going to put my skillet on low. That's about 4 for me. And I'm going to cut out my 6 tablespoons of butter. Okay? And I'm going to put this whole thing in a skillet. And like I always say on all my videos, if you're not a fan of butter, this is not the channel to watch, because I use a lot of butter in my dishes. Alright, so we're going to get that started. And like I said, I'm going to put it on low because I want the butter to melt and not brown. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here with my graham crackers, and I'm going to get those in my food processor. Now, this is going to be kind of a guesstimate, I know I'm going to use a full pack, but I'm going to use a half a pack. So I'm going to say it's about 4 graham crackers. And I'm going to put those right in there. And I'm going to use this whole pack. So I'm going to put these excess ones out the way. And graham cracker crust is an easy crust to make, so I really enjoy making that. So I'm just going to break them in half and get them in there. Alrighty. I'm going to put my crumbs in there. Now, I'm going to put this lid on, lock it down, and I'm going to give it a quick pulse. So this is going to be a little noisy. Okay. But I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to tap that down because I still have a little bit more in here I want to add, so I don't want to overpulse it. Now I'm going to come in here with my Oreos, and who doesn't love Oreos? And I'm going to add a few of those, and I'm going to count so you know how many I'm adding. So we're going to say that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to add 12 for now and see what that looks like. So I added 12 Oreos. Okay, and I'm just pulsing. I'm not letting it whirl. I'm giving it a good pulse. And I'm keeping an eye on my butter at the same time. So for me, that looks okay. And when you buy this KitchenAid food processor, it comes with this little scraper. So, and as you can see, I'm going to have my daughter scoot in here with that camera so you can see what it looks on the inside. It's kind of mixed up all on the inside, and that's going to make a great graham cracker crust. I hope we got enough light in here for you all to see that. So that's going to make a great graham cracker crust. And you see the consistency of it there. I'm going to shake it down so you can kind of see it. So that's what you're looking for on your graham cracker crust. And there's still a few big pieces in here. Let me see. I saw 2 or 3. So there we go. So I'm just going to give this 2 more pulses to take care of those. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, that should have got it. So we can set that to the side. We're going to come back over here and check on our butter. And our butter is fine. I'm actually going to take it off because the heat will carry it the rest of the way. And I'm going to set that to the side and clean this up a bit, and I'll be right back. So I cleaned that up, and my butter has had a chance to cool. So now I'm just going to add my butter to my food processor and give it a couple quick pulses. So I'm going to bring that butter over here. Matter of fact, I'm going to set it back down until I take my lid off. Okay. Yep, we got all the big chunks out, so that's fabulous. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my butter to the graham crackers and Oreo cookie crust. Right. Okay, that's perfect. And I'm just going to set that down out the way because that's hot. And I'm going to pulse the butter into the graham crackers and Oreo cookies. And you can see it's changed the consistency. Alrighty. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's kind of made it thick and gathered it together so it's like crumbly, and that's exactly what you want. Now I'm going to take off my food processor. I'm going to hold my blade in place with my finger under here, and I'm going to add my crust to my pan. And so I'm going to block your view a little bit because I'm just going to have to. Alrighty. I'm going to take my blade out. That blade is sharp. That blade ain't no joke. So, I'm going to add my cookie crust to my pan. And the good thing about this little scraper that they give you from KitchenAid is it fits the food processor perfectly. Alright. So I'm scraping out all my Oreo crust and my graham crackers. Now this is where clean hands come into play. You want to press this in with your hands. And I'm going to show you a little trick I use to get it even all around. Okay. So now I take my flat 1 cup measure and I press it all around. And it evens it out. And I just go around the whole pan like that. Alright. And so, you see me just pressing that cheesecake crust into that pan. Okay. And that's going to give you a great cheesecake crust. Alrighty. So I'm going to let my daughter get in here and shoot that good for you guys so you can kind of see the thickness of it. Because I like to show you guys every part of the baking so you know what done looks like. And if you're new to baking, if you want to follow along with me and try these recipes, I want you to have a good idea of what it should look like when you're done with it. So that's the end of that. Now I need to put this in the oven for, I'm going to clean my parchment paper off because I don't want that to burn. I need to put this in the oven for 7 to 8 minutes on 350 degrees. And I'm not going to make up my cheesecake mix right away because you definitely need to let this crust cool down before you pour your cheesecake mixture in. Otherwise your eggs will just curdle. Instead of having delicious moist cheesecake, you'll have a mess. So I'm going to put this in the oven for 7 minutes. This is a KitchenAid timer. If you don't have one of these timers, you really should invest in one. I think it cost me $19. And I'm going to set this because I'm going to be doing other stuff and I don't want to get distracted and not pay attention to my crust in the oven because I definitely don't want it to burn. So I'm going to set this. I'm going to set it for 8 minutes. I'm going to hit start. It's going to count down, and I'm going to put my cheesecake in the oven. My crust. Alright. So when that beeps, we'll be back, and I'll take it out the oven and show you how it looks so you can see every step of the process, and we'll be back in a moment, and I'll clean up this knife. So we're back. Our alarm just went off, and I want to take my crust out right away. I don't want it to cook no longer than the 7 to 8 minutes. And it varies by your oven. So my trick to telling when it's done is when I can smell it. When I start smelling the graham crackers and the Oreos, I can take it out at that point. Now, this is done, and we're going to let it cool down. I'm actually going to turn the oven off. We're not going to fill this crust with our cheesecake mix yet. We're going to let this cool down because, like I said before, if you add the mixture now, you're going to curdle your eggs and you're going to have a mess instead of a smooth, creamy cheesecake. So we're going to give this a few minutes to cool down, and we'll be back and I'll show you how to walk through the process of getting the cheesecake mixture together. Hi, so we're back and our crust is ready, and I'll let you take a look at that. It's cooled down because I can pick up the pan. And what I'm going to do next is I scooped 3/4 cup of peanut butter into this bowl. I microwaved it on high for 20 seconds. And now I'm going to pour my peanut butter into my crust. Alright. I'm going to scrape all of my peanut butter out my bowl. And I'm going to set my bowl to the side. And I'm going to use my offset spatula to spread it around. I'm just going to turn my pan. My pan is cool enough where I can move it around now. going to move that around, wet my spatula. Okay. I'm actually going to switch for a second. Let's see if this works better. Yep, this is working better. I want to get it as even as possible so you get a little peanut butter in every bite. Alrighty. So that is my peanut butter layer. Next I'm going to put my pot on low, my saucepan, and I'm going to put it on 3 for my stove. My stove has numbers. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon of heavy cream. To my saucepan. And I'm also going to add about 1 cup of this fudge topping. So I'm going to measure that out so you can see what 1 cup looks like. Okay. Get that in there. We're going to heat this fudge up so it's easier to pour, but I want to make sure I use a cup. Okay, that's about a cup. Alrighty. And now I'm just going to scrape that into that cream that's warming up already. And that cream is going to help that fudge loosen up. And this is fudgy. I guess my camera person will be licking the little scraper here when we're done. I guess it is some benefits to holding the camera. I wish I could see that face you just made. Okay. So I'm just going to stir this around, and it's on low. Ready? And we're going to give that a few seconds to get soft, and we'll be right back. So we're back, and this is the consistency we want our fudge to be. So you can kind of see what done looks like. Alright. And I'm only going to use half of this at the bottom because I'm going to pour the other half on the top. So I'm going to pour about half of this into the cheesecake. And a little bit more. That's about half. Alright, and the rest I'm going to set to the side for later. And what I like to do next is I like to create that little swirl effect. You won't see it now, but you'll see it when you cut it. Okay? So you get the fudge and the peanut butter taste. Good enough. Alright. So that part is done. So now we're going to get our filling mixture together, and we're going to do that by adding 3 packs, 8 ounces of cream cheese, soft and room temperature to our KitchenAid stand mixer. And this is my second one, and this will be my third. So now we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. And you know I don't like the scoop method, so I always spoon my sugar into my measuring cup. And this might be blocking the camera view, but okay. So 1 cup of sugar. Alrighty. Then we want 1 cup of sour cream, and I'm going to use the same cup, but that's why I did the sugar first. And this is organic sour cream. Alrighty, that's about 1 cup. So we're going to add that to our mixture as well. And we're going to put that on low and give it a whirl. Lock it up. Alright. And as that is whirling around, I'm going to add the eggs 1 egg at a time. And let it mix in thoroughly before I add the second one. Let that one mix in thoroughly. And I'm going to add the last one. Okay, I'm going to give that a stop. Unlock it. I'm going to come in here with my bowl scraper and scrape that down. Okay. And I'm going to give that a whirl again. Then I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. And you want to use a good quality vanilla extract. Don't use that wood imitation store stuff you get at the grocery store. You want a good quality of vanilla extract. And I'm going to stop that again. Come in here and give it a whirl to make sure I have all of that mixed from the bottom, and it looks like I do. So we're going to turn up the speed on this. A little longer, about 15 seconds. Okay, that's it. So now I'm going to get my oven back on to 350. My oven's still kind of warm, so it shouldn't take any time to warm up. And I'm going to pour my cheesecake mixture into my pan. So let me move that over here where you guys can see it. I'll trade places. And you remember before I had this chocolate peanut butter swirl, so I'm going to gently pour in, and I'll gently pour in my cheesecake mixture. Okay, and scrape that down. That mixed out really nice and smooth and creamy. That turned out almost perfect. Alrighty. So I'm going to give it a little jiggle. Alrighty. Make sure the air bubbles are coming out. A little tap. There we go. As you can see, it's some air bubbles in there. So you can kind of see the air bubbles in there, so we want to tap that out. But we have our remaining fudge mixture here, and we want to add that to the top of this cheesecake. And I'm going to swirl it in with a knife, if I can. Okay. Alrighty. So that's enough. And I'm going to take my little knife here and I'm going to swirl that around. And that will be seen when you cut the cheesecake open. Okay? Alrighty. Alright, so we're going to leave that alone. So our oven is ready and we can put our cheesecake in now. Slide that right in the center. for 55 to 60 minutes, depending on your oven, and as always, oven temperatures vary. So we'll be back in about an hour to pull this out, and we'll let it cool down. In the meantime, I'm going to take my Reese's Peanut Butter Cups that are in those little foils, put them in the freezer for a few minutes so it'll be easier for me to take the paper off. It's a little warm in here today, and with the oven not being on, I'm sure some of the chocolate on the Reese's Cups have melted. So I'm going to freeze those up so those paper come off easy. And if you're making this cheesecake in the summer as well, you might want to do that too. So we'll be back in a moment. So it's been about 55 minutes. So at the 55 mark, and this will vary depending on your oven, you should start to check on your cheesecake. Now I'm going to pull it out, and if it's jiggly in the center, that's perfect. If it's jiggly in the center, that's perfect. Because as it sets and cools, it's going to come together. So let's get this cheesecake out of the oven. Oh, it smells great. You can see a little of the swirl, and you can see a little of the jiggle. Alright. So that is perfect. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around so I can balance it out, and I'm going to turn off my oven. So that cheesecake is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit on the stove for about 20 minutes because it needs to cool down, and then I'm going to finish the process in the refrigerator for about an hour. So in an hour and 20 minutes we'll be back to finish up the cheesecake and show you how to top it off and make it a great presentation for your family. So our cheesecake has had an opportunity to cool back down. So I am now going to place it in the refrigerator for an hour, but I wanted to give you all a look at it so you can see what it looks like before we put it in the refrigerator, because I wanted you to see what done looks like. So it's not done yet, but I want to show you each step of the process. So this is our cheesecake. It's been cooled down, and as you can see, I can kind of touch it now, as before I couldn't touch it at all. So I'm going to take this tray, I'm going to cover it with some foil, and I'm going to put it in our refrigerator and let it sit and chill for at least 1 hour. And then we're going to come back, top it with some more fudge, because you'll never have enough fudge in your life. And then I'm going to top it with the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and we're going to finish off our cheesecake and have a great presentation. So we'll be back shortly. Hi, we are back again, and I want to thank you for sticking with this YouTube video this long. I know it's kind of long, but I have a lot of subscribers who are new to baking who like me to give them the explanation step by step so they can duplicate what I do at home. So we're on our final 2 steps, and I just want to show you what those are. So let's get started. Our cheesecake has been in the refrigerator for a while. And it's cooled off, and I'll show you what that looks like. But what we're going to work on next is we're going to put some fudge on top of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my stove on low, and I'm going to add another tablespoon of heavy cream. Alright. And I always keep heavy whipping cream in the house. And I'm going to add more fudge. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to guesstimate how much this is going to be. So, let's see. I'll tell you at the end when I'm done adding it. So that's about 1/4. So let's see where this takes us. That's a little warmer than I wanted it to be. So that's about 1/4. I'm going to say about 1/2 cup. And I'm going to juice this around. And we're going to get it liquidous again. Or we're going to get it to a liquid state again. And when it gets there, we'll be right back. Set that right there. And this is almost where I want it to be. Because I don't want to add a super amount of fudge at the top, because you know I added the fudge at the bottom. I added the fudge with the swirls on the middle. So we just want to add a little coating of fudge on the top. Now this is perfect. That's what you're looking for. That runoff, that's exactly what you want. So I can turn this off. So this is the consistency that I want. And I'm going to pour this over my cheesecake. But before I do that, I'm going to take a knife and run around the edge of my cheesecake. I'm just going to turn it because I want it to loosen up before I apply the sticky fudge. But I don't want to take it out of the container just yet because I want this all to set up overnight. Okay. Okay, that's right. Alright. So, I'm going to pour my fudge over here. Okay. Alrighty. Then I'm going to take my knife and kind of spread it around. Doesn't have to be fancy. You just really want something to adhere your Reese Peanut Buttercups to. So, give that a turn. Okay. So you just spread it lightly all around, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to put peanut butter cups on top. Okay, but I still want it to look good and make a good presentation for my family for dinner tomorrow, or whenever you choose to make it for your family. So that's good enough. So the next thing I want to do is I want to chop up my Reese Peanut Butter Cups, and I have this tiny little chopping board, this KitchenAid chopping board. I love it. And I'm just going to cut up my peanut butter cups in half like that, and I'm going to add them to the cheesecake. And I'll be back when that's all done. Alright, so I'm almost finished here, and I love these little cutting boards because it's perfect for small jobs like this. And our last peanut butter cup. And so now I'm just going to take the peanut butter cups and place them on top of the cheesecake. And you don't have to do it in a fancy way. If you want to arrange them and make them look fancy, you can. But I find that my family, they like anything I bring to the table. I'm going to finish putting these on here. And when it's all done, we'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm getting my last cheesecake Reese cup on here, and I think that looks fabulous. But I'm not going to unsnap my ring yet. I'm going to put this back in the fridge so it can continue to cool down, and we'll bring it back and show you in a few more hours what it looks like. So we're going to cover up and put it back, but so far so good. Let me move this sticky spoon I saved for my daughter. But doesn't that look fabulous? That looks great so far. Alrighty, we'll be back. So it's been quite a few hours. It's in the early morning hours. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. 1:43 to be exact. So I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do because I do want to end this video and show you what the crust looks like. I'm making this for my family dinner tomorrow, so I'm going to pop this ring. But just for you, I make my cheesecakes ahead of time, the day before I want to serve them to my family, and I put them in the refrigerator overnight, and I do not pop the rings until I'm ready to serve. But because I want to show it to my YouTube subscribers, I'm going to pop the ring, but this ring is going right back on as soon as this video is over with. So let's get this done so we can wrap this up. Alrighty. Alrighty. So there you have it. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to turn it around so you can see the final product. And I hope that's coming out clear. And I got that nice Oreo cookie crust all the way around. And I got my Oreos on top. So that is our final product. I would like to thank you all for staying with me this entire long video. I know this video was long, but I definitely want to show you step by step what done looks like so that you can make this for your family. And it's summertime now, but this is great during the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, maybe a nice Halloween treat because it's got the peanut butter cups on top, Super Bowl parties. This, when you bring this to the table, it dazzles. And your friends and family members will definitely be impressed, and it tastes just as good as it looks. So, thank you for watching another Providing Resources for Emergency Preparedness. Visit our website at www.providingresources.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And coming soon to the Atlanta, Georgia area, once I get moved down there and settled, will be basic baking classes with me where you will learn in person how to make fabulous, delicious, savory treats, breads, sweet treats and breads with me in person. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a blessed day.